Are you tired of people telling you that you just need to feel your feelings and you feel like it's almost ignorant of them to say that because you've experienced so much trauma in your life, and because of that trauma you had to dissociate for so long that you don't even know how to feel your feelings? And to add insult to injury, it just feels like anybody who explains how to feel your feelings does it in a way that doesn't seem comprehensible or applicable. This is the video for you. So you want to learn how to feel your feelings, but you're kind of scared about it because for years you have spent so much energy repressing them. And or it just seems like every time you allow yourself to feel your feelings, it just goes really badly. And now you've convinced yourself that because you felt your feelings, you are now an inconvenience and you're being too much, not only just for yourself, but for other people. And this might cause you to start fearing abandonment. Well, if I express my emotions, nobody's going to want to be around me. Well, if I express my emotions, I'm going to look like a psycho, or I'm going to be stuck in a 3-month depression. Well, I better not do that again. Cool, so now that we've addressed it, how do we feel them? You're not going to believe what I'm about to say. Daily practicing of regulating your nervous system. Regular practice of regulating your nervous system builds the skill of lowering your levels of fight or flight responses. The thing about having a traumatic past and a lot of traumatic experiences is that a lot of us don't end up getting out of that fight or flight. And this is primarily because nobody ever taught us how to. I don't know about you, but I was taught algebra and not emotional regulation in school. I also wasn't educated on healthy coping skills till much later in life. And I've made peace with that because I know them now. But the greatest part about learning how to regulate your nervous system is it puts that space between the trigger and then the reaction. As Dave Matthews once said, the space between. And so the more you're able to practice nervous system regulating techniques, the more you're able to lengthen that time span between your trigger and that response. Now, this is important because a lot of us have a tendency of intellectualizing our feelings instead of actually feeling them. So when a lot of people get triggered, they associate that trigger with a story and a belief, which looks like this trigger is making me think of this story of this time that this horrible thing happened to me. And it is bringing up a belief about myself based off of what happened during that old story. So that space between helps you rewrite what that trigger means about you before you respond. And by practicing nervous system regulating, you can start rewriting that narrative around that trigger and therefore change the response that you have to those triggers. Whether that response is to suppress, freak out, get sad, get really angry. How do I change this narrative about what this trigger means about me? You have to sit with those triggers and the emotions and narratives that are brought up by that trigger. And this is a lot less challenging to do if you are in a calm state brought on by nervous system regulating. And that way you can approach the feeling and sit in it without judgment and without running away. I'd be happy to make another video if you'd like, but I'm running out of time. My name's Sarah. I'm your favorite self-experimenting coach or companion. You're an amazing person. I love you, and I hope you have the best day.